She's so fine. Hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my day.
What's good, guys? This is an update to a video that I just did last night regarding Christine Lugo, the Dunkin' Donuts manager who was coming to open the store and someone forced her in at gunpoint. She complied with everything he asked of her, and he still shot and killed her. Now, the surveillance footage was so crystal clear that I just could not believe that somebody didn't know who that was. Well, turns out they did. And he was Keith Gibbson. Now, this is coming from Philadelphia's CBS locally. Serial killer Keith Gibbson, suspect in murder of Philadelphia Dunkin' manager Christine Lugo, taken into custody, police sources say. So now they've labeled this man a serial killer. Philadelphia police sources confirm Keith Gibbson has been taken into custody in connection to the murder of a Dunkin' manager in the Fair Hill section of the city over the weekend. Philadelphia homicide detectives tell Eyewitness News reporter Joe Holden that Gibson has been labeled a serial killer. He is the suspected gunman in the fatal shooting and robbery of a 41-year-old at the Dunkin' Donuts, whose name is Christine Lugo. Now, Joe Holden from CBS tweeted this out. A man Philadelphia police sources are now calling a serial killer has been taken into custody. A man ID'd as Keith Gibbson is suspected of fatally shooting Dunkin' Donuts manager Christine Lugo on Saturday morning. And he posted these two pictures, which you can clearly see on the right, has the exact same eyes. Alright? Now let's listen to how they have termed him a serial killer. What made him a serial killer? Police say Lugo was opening the Dunkin' located at the 500 block of West Lehigh Avenue just before 5:30 a.m. on Saturday, when Keith Gibbson fatally shot her during a robbery. Co-workers tell CBS 3 she was a mother of two with a kind heart and smile. That's a picture of Christine Lugo. And you can, I hate saying this because it sounds so cliche, but you can look at her and tell she was a good human. For me, it's like something just gravitated toward this story because I look at her face and I'm like, of course, nobody deserves this. But there's something about her face that draws me in. I can't even explain it, honestly. Officials say after the Dunkin' shooting, he shot and critically wounded a 19-year-old in Wilmington and pistol whipped a female worker at a Rite Aid in Newcastle. Here's where it gets really dark. On February the 8th, police say he killed his own mother at a location on Ridge Avenue. And on May the 15th, officials say he killed a worker at a T-Mobile store in Ellesmere, Delaware. In 2008, he was convicted and served time for committing a homicide and commercial robbery in Delaware. Wilmington police confirmed Gibson was taken into custody yesterday, in connection with an armed robbery around 8:20 a.m. He was wearing a bulletproof vest and was armed with a knife and loaded gun. He's charged with first-degree robbery and is being held in Delaware. A revolver that is preliminarily believed to be connected to many of the shootings was recovered. And if you remember the story, that is what he used to force Christine Lugo into the Dunkin' Donuts store, a revolver. So let's back this up. So in 2008, he was convicted and served time for committing a homicide and commercial robbery in Delaware. 13 years, depending on what day he was sentenced, 13 years. Then on February the 8th, now that's this year, he killed his own mother? Come on, man. Then killed a worker at the T-Mobile store. Now this is the person who was the victim of that in Ellesmere. Leslie Lizette Basilio. Beautiful young girl. Beautiful.
As news spread of the robbery and cold blood killing of a North Philadelphia Dunkin' Donuts store manager on Saturday morning,
I don't believe in coincidences.
many couldn't overlook the similarities of the May 15th robbery and shooting death of an Ellesmere, Delaware Metro PCS store manager.
I immediately called my friends in Delaware.
And the man seen at the scene in surveillance images at the time of both murders.
He definitely knew what he was doing. So this was something that he seemed like he did before, and he was just very calm and cool about it.
As Pennsylvania and Delaware officials continue to piece together details in the two cases and potentially others, questions now remain as to why both women were alone in their stores.
The overnight person had called out, and so she had come in earlier than the rest of the crew just to bake and do little things in the store.
And could this potential serial killer have been stopped sooner?
That would bring some closure. It would just open a new door of, possibilities of what, why, or it could have been prevented.
And tonight we have also learned that Keith Gibbson is being questioned in connection with the death and the homicide of his mother back on February 8th in Philadelphia. Reporting outside police headquarters, Alicia Roberts, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Now this article has a little bit more detail to it. Keith Gibbson, that's 2 B's in his name, 39, taken into custody, being held on robbery offenses in connection with an incident at a Rite Aid at 4th and Adams Street in Wilmington, Delaware on Tuesday morning. Taken into custody without incident, wearing a ballistic vest, and was in possession of a loaded firearm, ammunition, a knife, and narcotics, according to Wilmington police. Facing a slew of charges, including robbery and weapons offenses. No injuries were reported on Tuesday when they took him in. Now, the Philadelphia police did confirm today that he is the suspect in the murder of Dunkin manager Christine Lugo, and also is being investigated for his mother, her death. It says formal charges from the DA's office are expected soon. Now, he is believed to have committed numerous robberies at gunpoint and shot multiple employees in separate incidents, including the murder of Leslie Basilio at a T-Mobile in Ellesmere, Delaware. That's what we just spoke about. Authorities in Philadelphia are also investigating if Gibson had any involvement in the murder of his mother, Christine Gibson, 54. She was shot and killed at her office back on February the 8th. Philadelphia detectives are now working to extradite him back to the city, but no timetable has been given. So his thing must have been robbery at gunpoint. That must have been his thrill. And why, though, he had to shoot these people is the part that only he knows, and only his brain clicks like that. We all have different brains, and I don't know. I'll be interested to see what all happens behind this and what else they uncover, because there's no telling. But I did want to bring this update regarding Christine Lugo, and I will continue to follow this as well. So thanks for watching, guys.